Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Monday, February 18th, 2019. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Members of the National Unity Administration met in Nevis today, Monday, February 18th, for a special cabinet meeting as part of the government's 4th anniversary commemorative events. The meeting took place at the Nevis Island Administration's cabinet room at Pinny's Estate.
As part of the new relationships that were forged with the people of Nevis and the Nevis Island Administration, from time to time, the federal cabinet would meet on the island of Nevis. And we did this, for example, last year, and we will continue to do so over the life of the Team Unity Administration. The federal government represents all entities in the federal structure, and it is important that the presence of the federal government is felt as much in Nevis as it is felt on St. Kitts. And so we have basically attempted to do this by our presence and by the spreading activities that are federal in nature on the island of Nevis.
Today, the federal cabinet met with members of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Marijuana Commission regarding its report, which could guide the government in its determination on marijuana use, its consequences, and the way forward.
On or about the 11th of January 2019, the report was made available for consideration of the cabinet, and the cabinet had a preliminary look at this report during one of our regular meetings and determined that it could benefit from further engagement and interaction with the commissioners and several of the issues that were raised. Today's special meeting of the federal cabinet on the island of Nevis allows for this historic document to be deliberated upon by the cabinet, taking into consideration inputs and feedback we anticipate to come from the commissioners.
Representing the National Marijuana Commission was Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws, the chair, as well as Assistant Commissioner of Police Andre Mitchell, Samande Ras Ayer Reed, Karimu Byron Keynes, Dr. Garfield Alexander, and Reverend Canon Alistair Rollins. Prime Minister Harris thanked them for their work and noted that during the course of today's meeting, they would have a more detailed conversation regarding the report. The St. Paul's Anglican Church was visited by the National Unity Government of St. Kitts and Nevis on Sunday, February 17th. It was one of two services the government will attend as it celebrates its 4th anniversary since being elected to office on February 16th, 2015. Also attending the service was national hero and first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Right Excellent Sir Dr. Kennedy Simmons, as well as the members of the Nevis Island Administration. Prime Minister Harris addressed the congregation on behalf of his cabinet colleagues.
Thank you very much, Father Reverend Pisachibal. I want to start by thanking the Father and the leadership of the church for allowing us to worship today at the St. Paul's Anglican Church. And perhaps it is fitting that we should come here to worship and to give thanks. We recognize that as an administration, we have achieved quite a lot. For that, we credit you, and for all the wonderful things that have been done in the name of the people, we say to God be the glory. May God bless St. Kitts and Nevis. May God bless our people. And I am inspired each day, despite the ups and downs and the onerous nature of leadership. I am inspired by the goodness I see each day in someone to commit to St. Kitts and Nevis. I'll give you my very best. my very best of service. So thank you again on behalf of the Cabinet, and may God, to whom we surrender all things, take us forward and upward again.
The Team Unity Administration's 4th anniversary activities are being celebrated under the theme Team Unity, Making Dreams a Reality in Every Community. Meantime, this evening at 7:30, the National Unity Government will host its community consultation for constituency Nevis 9 at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall.
We will be open again to engage the people of Nevis and St. Kitts, because we expect that persons, bearing in mind it is a federal agenda, a federal celebrations, persons from St. Kitts are expected to be there. And so each and every citizen and resident will be provided the opportunity to engage.
This will be the first in the Town Hall series hosted by the Team Unity Government that will focus on community issues and development. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, on Friday, February 15th, issued a statement regarding the recent increase in criminal activities. The statement came on the heels of meetings on Tuesday 12th and Thursday 14th February with the High Command of the Police, Defense Force, and the Customs and Excise Department, accompanied by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, the National Security Advisor, and the Financial Secretary.
Our security forces have advised the Cabinet of their plans to vigorously defend the peace and ensure the safety of all citizens and residents. In this regard, a number of security initiatives will be pursued on a long-term, sustained basis. We call on all citizens and residents to give their fullest cooperation to our law enforcement officers as they go about their special and general operations in our crime hotspots and all other areas of concerns. The core mandate of our law enforcement officers is that of finding the criminals and bringing them swiftly to justice. Criminals must never find comfort or protection anywhere in St. Kitts and Nevis. Everyone, indeed our families, churches, businesses, and political parties, are being called upon to stand firmly with the security forces as they work to make us safe and prevent further loss of life and injury to persons and property.
He also noted a number of recommendations from the High Command that the Cabinet has approved.
1. The training program at the police training school be temporarily suspended, allowing the recruits, the inspectors, corporals, and other officers attached thereto to be reassigned to areas most in need of manpower support. 2. Professional advice and support from abroad will be sought as and when necessary by the High Command. 3. Increase special operations to be commenced immediately. These would include enhanced stop and searches, targeted raids, cordon and search operations, and deployment of our technological assets. 4. Community outreach programs and the build-out of our Explorer programs should continue apace. 5. The Attorney General will determine what additional legislative responses can be effected in the very near future to give greater support to law enforcement agencies in their fight against crime. 6. The Police High Command releases the names and photos of several persons of interest to them, and we encourage those with knowledge of the whereabouts of these persons to inform the police soonest.
According to Prime Minister Harris, the government has also met with representatives of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce and will meet with other critical stakeholders over the course of the coming weeks. Still to come,
all persons in the Charleston area, the Newcastle area, and also the Hanley's Road area
We'll give you the details after this break. Welcome back. The St. Kitts and Nevis Department of Marine Resources is gearing up to host a series of consultations on the Fisheries, Aquaculture and Marine Resources Act, which was passed in the National Assembly in 2016.
And as part of the process, the whole process, a number of consultations should be held in St. Kitts and Nevis. So already that process has started in St. Kitts. They will be having the last consultation this evening, and then they move over to Nevis and we'll have the consultations here. Also, what has happened is that they have a number of consultants involved. We have Mr. Davin Joseph, he's out of Antigua. They have a consulting firm, the name I cannot quite remember right now. And also from Grenada, we have Justin Rennie. Justin Rennie is a former director of fisheries in the island of Grenada, and Davin Joseph has been involved in marine connected activity in Antigua, definitely with stuff like the IWC, or the International Whaling Commission. So these are two experienced persons in the area of marine biodiversity, and so they are actually spearheading the whole consultation process, which is a requirement, as I said, of the Fisheries, Aquaculture and Marine Resources Act 2016.
Lemuel Pemberton, Deputy Director of the Department of Marine Resources, outlines the ultimate goal of the consultations.
We are speaking about the St. Kitts and Nevis marine managed area. Now, first of all, we're talking about a marine protected area, but because it's a multi-use area, and we are speaking about 2 miles out from the coastline of St. Kitts and Nevis, and there are different zones. So there's a zone for transportation, for instance. There's a zone which you have fishing priority. Then you will have like recreational priority, and then there will be multi-use zones. So these are all around the islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. So this is just to prevent, let's say, user conflict, and also to promote what we call co-management, so that people are involved. And with people involvement, that you'll have like better use of the whole marine environment, the whole marine sphere. So that is what is being promoted here.
He's also inviting persons to attend.
So all persons in the Charleston area, the Newcastle area, and also the Hanley's Road area. So if you cannot find yourself at one site, you can find yourself at another. It doesn't matter where on the island you are from. You can go to one of these areas, and once you have an interest in the marine environment, what some people refer to as the blue economy, then you should be there. You should find yourself there, and so that your interests can be represented, or you can represent your interests yourself.
The dates for the consultations are Tuesday, February 19th at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall, Wednesday, February 20th at the Franklin Brown Community Center in Camps Village, and Thursday, February 21st at the Charles L. Walters Community Center in Hanley's Road. The consultations will begin at 5 p.m. daily. The Nevis Disaster Management Department held an opening ceremony for a faith-based multi-hazard awareness campaign on Friday, February 15th at its Emergency Operations Center at Long Point. Outlining the objective of the campaign was Deputy Director Jack Gomber.
This campaign targeted the school children, the churches, the businesses, the government departments, and later on citizens at large. We started with the schools. The procedure is to have each month being occupied by a particular hazard. For now, we all know hurricane to be the number one thing. Once it is June, you don't need to tell anybody. We just become aware. So we want persons to become aware of earthquake, to become aware of tsunamis, to become aware of drought, to become aware of volcano, same way they are aware of hurricane. And we want to count on you in this venture.
According to Gomba, the participants will be assigned to the various campaigns that will be done throughout the year, with the aim of making more persons aware of what to do in order to safeguard themselves and their families before, during, and after a disaster. Also present at the meeting were various members of the clergy, including Pastor Eversley Pemberton, who did the invocation, Pastor Delroy Josiah, who chaired the meeting, and Reverend Salome James, who spoke on behalf of the Ecclesiastical Affairs Committee. Superintendent of Police Lyndon David also delivered remarks. The vote of thanks was delivered by Director of the Department, Brian Dyer. That's how we end this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.